streaming and various. Okay. Apparently, we are live, and I'm going to have to remove LinkedIn. It says I can't go live on LinkedIn. So we're
Hi everyone.
But hi everyone.
Hi.
Hello everyone. So welcome to the broadcast, and it's amazing to have everyone on the call. So we're going to get started in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. All right. Welcome once again, everyone, to the second webinar part of the Learning Machine Learning webinar series that I have been doing over time. I want to just welcome everyone. We're going to dive straight in here. If you're watching this live, bravo. If you're not watching this live, then maybe watching a recorded version. But I'm going to go ahead and do an introduction of myself. So my name is Udo-Obong, and I am a program manager on the developer relations team at Google. I currently I'm learning machine learning, more like learning machine learning all over again. With me on the call, I have three amazing guests, Wura, Sayak, and Teju. So without further ado, I'm going to go straight to Wura first, Wura Ola. Then we'll go to Sayak, and then we'll go to Teju to please introduce themselves.
Okay, my name is, hello everybody. My name is Wura Ola, and I lead research and innovation at Data Science Nigeria. And from my bio, I'm a pharmacist and a data scientist. So I'll be sharing perspectives from that side as a non-tech background person with machine learning. Glad to meet you all.
Hello everyone, my name is, sorry, did I do anything wrong?
No, your turn.
Go ahead, Sayak.
Yeah, hello everyone, my name is Sayak, I'm from India. I work as a deep learning associate at PyMedSearch. I work at the intersection of computer vision and deep learning. General deep learning interests me a lot, and I'm looking forward to be talking to all of you and hopefully present my perspectives holistically. Glad to be here though.
Hi everyone. My name is Teju Afonja, and I'm a graduate student at Saarland University in Germany. I'm studying computer science, but my research interest is in the intersection of privacy, machine learning, and security. And I co-founded AISST Lagos a few years ago, and we provide AI training classes to students, and I'm also involved in a number of AISST community in Nigeria. Ultimately, I would like to democratize AI in Africa. So nice to be here. So good to see you all. No, I can't see you, but hi.
Yeah, awesome. So we're going to dive straight in. We've got a lot to cover, and there are lots of questions that are coming. More will be coming in the chat. I'm going to start this time with Teju. And my first question is, what is your understanding or appreciation of machine learning and or artificial intelligence? A lot of people on this call are learning machine learning. So please go ahead and just spill the beans to us.
Okay, yeah. So, how I got interested in the field was because I was interested in how intelligence works, and I thought it would be cool to build something that displays intelligence. And as I grew, then I was studying mechanical engineering. As I did more research, I realized that there's this thing that seemed to do it, which is artificial intelligence. And talking about machine learning, basically you're talking about how do you find patterns in data, and you can also, I mean, that's like the simplified version of it. It's just like you think like you have a lot of data, then how is it that I can learn from this data? How can I find patterns? What is in this data that can make me not be able to through rule based, not be able to like, if and else. I know I'm about to like move into different concepts, but I'm taking myself back. So how do I learn from data? That's the basic thing about machine learning. And when most people talking about artificial intelligence, is that like they are moving a lot into, it's not just learning patterns from data. It's like building, stacking things called neural networks that are able to learn different features, which you don't have to like define your own features. So yeah, so that's it. I'm not sure if that's enough answer to your question.
Absolutely. Thank you, Teju. So one thing we're doing here is really just speaking from our heart. So we're not using any of the textbook definitions of machine learning or artificial intelligence. If you want that, you can search in your favorite search engine and find so many of those definitions. What we're really focusing on here is how we personally interpret these platforms. Sayak, do you want to go next? There was a cyclone in India, so Sayak has told us he would be many of the times not showing his video, but Sayak, let's just go ahead with your own understanding of machine learning and AI or both.
Yeah, sure. So I would like to first cover the points that really interested me in getting started with the field. So back when I was starting with the field, like my introduction to machine learning was via my undergrad academics, probably back in late 2015. Luckily, I took this course called pattern recognition and machine learning and ended up studying the Christopher Bishop pattern recognition and machine learning book, which is quite the famous one. And also I ended up studying Tom Mitchell's machine learning book. So my introduction to the field was very academic and mathematical, which I don't really like, to be very frank. And regarding the appreciation part, knowing the fact that a system like a machine learning system can beat Turing test was very exciting to me, and that is one of the primary reasons that got me started into this very field. And also secondary reasons being, when I saw as I was typing something into my mobile keyboard, the next word was getting automatically predicted. I was like, man, I want to be able to build something like this, because coming from a computer science background, I always wanted to build something that was at least appealing to me. So yeah, definitely that particular example was something that really pushed me more towards getting started in this field. And regarding my perception of how I perceive machine learning is, let's take the traditional way of doing software engineering, where we take data and where we define handhold rules, and we then try to find answers. But in the case of machine learning, what we supply to the system is data and already defined answers, and then we try to backtrack the rules, which is pretty interesting. We let the system figure out all these rules that formulate all those data points, right? So these are little things that really interest me up even to this date. So yeah, that is my appreciation as well as my perception of machine learning. So yeah.
Thank you, Sayak. Wura, the pharmacist turned data scientist that says she doesn't have a tech background. What is your own machine learning and artificial intelligence story?
Okay, my story is probably like some of you. I totally stumbled on this. It wasn't planned. You know, for some people, they planned this, they wanted to get into this. But I remember that I've shared the story a lot of times. I was trying to know what data analysis is about, and Python came up, and somehow I found that there's all this field called data science. So that was how I got into data science. Like Sayak and Tejo have said, that's the simplest definition of our machine learning is you give data, you give the output, and these algorithms, they figure out the connection. So for everybody that's trying to know what is the difference between machine learning and normal algorithms, and traditional programming, that means there are usually algorithms that people define. It's more like you thinking for the next steps for the computer to do. But in machine learning, these algorithms, they can figure out the relationship, which I think is really cool. I'll share about some things I've been doing with machine learning. And I think there's a misconception about machine learning and AI. The first thing people think about when they hear AI is mostly robotics, more like you're probably programming robots. They'll take our job and things like that. But I'd like to say that machine learning, deep learning, and machine learning, deep learning, they're already in your business. Like Sayak said, it's already your autocomplete. It's making you find better things online. When you are shopping online, the recommender systems, machine learning and deep learning is there. So let's stop at that for now.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you. So, um, okay, for me, I think Sayak has already mentioned something like the kind of products that got him excited about machine learning. One of them is just a simple predictive text, and I think even the way predictive text has worked, and you look at some products like Gboard, which is the Google keyboard on Android. I don't know if it's available on iOS. The rules or the way you implement that sort of predictive text has changed over the years. So, Ted, do you want to tell us what products that maybe you have interacted with or you have built? I know you guys are messing around with Nigerian food and pidgin English. I don't know whether it's now German food you're working on right now. But can you tell us some about the products from AI or ML that have just intrigued you and helped you go further down this journey of learning machine learning?
Yeah, so just like Wura and Sayak said, there are like a bunch of interesting tools out there, like that use machine learning. And I mean, I'm not sure how familiar we are all with things like Google Photos, like auto tagging and all those stuff. Each and every tools these days have a little bit of machine learning in them. So for me, when I was so it started when I was working at Kudi, actually. Kudi.ai, I was working on bots, and I was building bots. And I remember then it felt like magic we just spin up like Facebook bots, and then we write some, if we write some rules, and we're able to. So now Kudi still use we train machine learning, and then you say, hi Kudi, I want to buy send Teju 5k airtime. Not really, maybe like 100 naira airtime or something, and then Kudi will be what's Teju's number or something. So if you've saved Teju, like you've saved my number, it's just like, oh, how much are you sending to Teju? But if you put the old query, like send Teju 500 naira, then it's just like, okay, then you put your PIN, all those kind of stuff. It seems like magic at first, but this is about gathering a lot of data, and then we trained named entity recognition and all those stuff. That was my first internship in this field. And then later down the road, I joined InstaDeep, and I was able to work on other things. Like my last project before I left InstaDeep was basically something related to privacy, like differential privacy, whereby we thought that if you go to conferences, instead of you like how do you recommend people to meet one another without you feeling like you're evading their privacy and all this stuff. So that was part of the reason why I got really interested in the privacy security aspect of like machine learning, because I feel like we have a lot of like we've been building a lot of tools and products, and it's important that we think about the privacy and security aspects of them. So and that's why I'm focused on it. And another. Sorry, I don't know how long I can keep talking.
Okay, no, that's fine. That's fine. I think I would switch to Wura.
Yeah.
Perfect. I'll switch to Wura, and then first of all, I think people haven't seen my face in a while, so okay. I'll switch to Wura now. Wura, what products that use ML or AI have impressed you and inspired you to choose this career?
Okay, I'll say auto predict. When you're searching online, and I like the way it's like it's responsive to me. Like I type in Yoruba a lot. Gboard is learning that. Like it's cool. Like, okay, sorry. And all the other cool things about NLP, sentiment analysis. I remember the first time that, I was trying that, and the first thing I ever said that, oh, it actually works. It works, like my model learns that it can predict it. It's cool. And recommender systems, like I'm trying music, and sometimes to discover new music, maybe I'm working and YouTube is doing its thing. Like I'm just saying, okay, let me pick the song. Let me trust YouTube to predict the next songs. I think it's amazing. I'm fascinated with the fact that I know how that works. I'm fascinated that people are thinking in those range of things, and it's amazing. So I'll say my favorites. It's related to language.
Awesome.
Auto predict.
Awesome. Okay, Sayak, over to you. You told us already about prediction. What other things? And don't be afraid to go very deep, even if it's the most mortals we don't understand.
Yeah, sure. So apart from the Gvote product that I already mentioned, definitely the other product would be photos, like the ability to actually search with a keyword, and the particular system would return me the images matching to that particular keyword. That seemed very appealing, at least back in 2015. And another interesting system that really inspired me was the ability of asking questions to a particular search engine, and instead getting a particular crisp answer, which is like machine reading comprehension and stuff like that. So these are some of the things that or rather systems that really inspired me to take up machine learning as a career. And yeah, definitely. So the fact that I kind of understand how this system works, at how the systems work, at least on an intuitive level, this overall feeling is very satisfying and very fulfilling. So yeah.
Awesome. So I'll stay with you, Sayak, for my next question. So it's an obvious question, but it was on my list. Have you used ML or AI in your work or side projects? Just a brief description.
Yeah, sure. So my final year dissertation, I am a 2017 engineering pass out. So in my, just to give that particular context, my final year dissertation was actually focusing on the application of machine learning for intrusion detection systems and stuff. So yeah, that was the kind of first capstone project that I did with machine learning, more on the applied side, though not very much fundamental and stuff. I anyway do not do that sort of fundamental research, so-called fundamental research in machine learning, but I definitely do a lot of applied research, so to say. So yeah, long story cut short here is I have used machine learning both in my works and many of my side projects that I've developed over the years. So yeah.
So maybe Wura, do you want to talk about projects you worked?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to share one that I find fascinating. It's about using named entity recognition for text mining. Recently, I'm working on this project where I'm trying to extract the names of diseases, symptoms, chemical agents, drugs from a very large data set. And okay, so I said I've always been an NER person that we are going to use named entity recognition for this. And okay, so of course the data set is large, about let's say about
Oh,
30,000 publications or 30,000 publications, and I'm trying to find what are the diseases and the
that
chemicals in this. Okay, so typically, this is why it's good not to mind your business. You know, as a pharmacist, as a pharmacist, I couldn't have, just done that. But I wanted to know, I was trying to look for a pattern. What are the most popular diseases that are being talked about in this
thing,
body of work? Is there a pattern to them? Are there symptoms that everybody is finding? And
that
okay, so I wasn't even the one that trained the pre-trained model. I used the pre-trained model to, I used the pre-trained model to extract that. Of course, it took a whole lot of hours. I was doing a mini video as my laptop is running. But the interesting thing about machine learning, about doing this thing, is that, when it works, there's really nothing like, oh, I've done this, it has worked before. There's this new excitement. Like, as the entities were being extracted, I was proud of myself, proud of everybody that has ever worked on something like that.
that's incredible. That's
because,
incredibly
because
exciting.
because
Yeah.
the pre-trained model I used wasn't even trained on that larger data set. They had labeled the entities, and I brought it in, and I'm like, this is awesome. Like, I can't, the more that I get into this, the more I see how stressful people that are in core traditional programming and how much work they've done. I can't add code that. I can't list all the diseases or symptoms
I think we lost you, Wura.
amazing, and it's an interesting project. We look forward to sharing about that. So it's quite exciting,
That,
the things that
that
ML can do.
that's really
Can
exciting.
do. Okay.
That's really exciting. Thank you so
Thank you.
much for
Now it's your
sharing.
turn.
Yeah, recently I've been working like in the music audio domain. So I remember that as I was training like a speaker.
Yeah. Okay. I think we may have briefly lost the.
Should I go ahead?
Yeah. Ted, go ahead. Please
Oh,
go ahead.
great. So I said recently I've been tinkering, fooling around in the audio and music domain. So like music generation, like adversarial, like finding adversarial attacks for like speaker classification or like training like speaker classification model, because that's where my current research is focused on. So nothing like extracting different diseases, like you said. It almost makes my project seem trivial. I'm so jealous, but just but yeah, that's the current project I'm focused on. And yeah, before then, I already like mentioned a couple of projects that I worked on. Like some of them probably never made it to production. so yeah, it's just like research, and that's what it is. You do a lot of theory research until the one that gets published, hopefully someday. Okay, I need the sync to be off again.
Yes. Okay. So this is at the point where we had some questions that we had sort of like used to prep ourselves for this. These are questions that come up a lot, and right now one of them has ended up in our Q&A. Ask me anything question that comes in all the time, and here we're not really looking for a right answer because I'm not sure there is a right answer. What we're actually looking for is what is your answer. So I would start with Sayak on this question. Does ML really need its deep knowledge of mathematics? If yes, how can a person without deep mathematics background be on track of machine learning? I'll edit that a bit, but yeah, please go ahead, Sayak.
Yeah, I think that is also one of my favorite questions. I mean, I've been speaking to machine learning developers and practitioners for a while now, and I think I get these questions uh, a lot. And as Anidhi rightfully mentioned, that there's no right or wrong answer to this. It depends on the perspective that you are looking for. I could argue that if you talk about Jeremy Howard of Fast AI, he is a failed undergraduate in psychology, but he is now delivering world-class machine learning lectures at the University of San Francisco. So one could argue that if you have the right amount of tenacity to pursue machine learning, then yeah, absolutely, you can do whatever you want to do. And I run this small interview series where I interview a lot of deep learning practitioners, scientists, and engineers. So one quote that has stuck with me, and it is coming from the chief science officer of Hugging Face, named Thomas Woolf. So I asked him this question, and he answered that if you really love the field, you will eventually find a way out. So uh, it's absolutely okay if you do not have any machine learning background, or specifically deep knowledge of mathematics, that machine learning pursuing machine learning might require in the long run. But it's absolutely okay, if you have the tenacity, and if you are willing to put the kind of hard work that you would need to get through that, you will eventually do that, right? Because one fact that Geoffrey Hinton or Yoshua Bengio or Jan LeCun was able to get through the AI winter was because of their tenacity. So tenacity is really important in anything in life that you do. So yeah, long story cut short here would be, yes, you can absolutely do machine learning, and you can do world-class research. Time and time Jeremy Howard has shown that, even if you do not come from a mathematics background, or even if you do not have that deep mathematics knowledge, you can always pick those things up. And even if you are an engineer or a software developer who is just looking forward to incorporating machine learning models to build intelligent systems, I think there are a number of different libraries and frameworks that can help you right there. But yeah, even in the long run, to be able to make sense of those machine learning models or machine learning systems, you would need to have some kind of mathematical interpretation. So yeah, that would be my answer.
Awesome, Wura, you're on the spot now.
Okay. But what I usually say to those questions is that for every profession, for every field, they have their languages and they have their conversations. And if you're someone coming from outside in quote, or you're just trying to learn all this, your leverage to be able to understand what is going on, to be able to keep up with this, is to understand their language. For machine learning, for deep learning, for data science, uh, there are mathematical languages. I think I'm one of the best people to talk about this because pharmacy school we didn't do a lot of math. We were not talking about linear algebra. And what I'll say to anybody, learn the focused one, something like linear algebra for machine learning. It's not like I know a whole lot of calculus, but if you have to be good at this, you have to be part of the decision. You And math helps you to do that, the basics of the math. If let's say you're working with something and your code is returning reshape or something, you'll be confused what is reshape. But reshape your tensors and your matrices, you have to know what that means. So I would say go for targeted learning. Go for targeted learning. The people have been quite helpful. I do that often. There's linear algebra for machine learning. There is maybe a little bit of calculus for machine learning, because it helps you, because that's what makes you a professional at anything. I'll give an instance. As a pharmacist, I'm not currently in clinical practice, but because I have that background, if somebody mentions the name of a drug, I only need to ask, oh, what's the drug class? I have an idea of what the side effects will be. I have an idea of the interactions without even hearing of that particular drug before. So that's how it is here too. If you want to be someone that participates in your code, you want to be someone like that. You don't want to be someone that, oh, I don't know math, and nobody's really, nobody expects you to implement your code from the beginning. In fact, so many pre-trained models, so many things that you can just bring up. But the beauty of being a professional and being good at this is to understand what goes on. Like, you can't just be that person that does not know what it means when your code says you should reshape. What is it reshaping? You can't just be that person. So I'll say go for focused mathematics for this, mathematics for linear algebra, mathematics for deep learning. You can start from there. And the fun thing is that you find yourself experimenting with these things you've not thought of. Your model had poor training. You should want to know what you should be able to tweak. You should want to know, like, oh, maybe it's the optimizer. If you don't know what the optimizer does, if you don't know what, you're arranging your neural networks, you don't know what the sigmoid function does, you don't know why softmax does a better job in certain scenario compared to sigmoid. So I'll say, if you will enjoy this, you have to be part of the conversation, and basic math is part of the conversation. So do it.
Thank you for breaking my heart, Uraola.
Annie, your heart is intact. I can see it.
Okay, so before we jump to the next question, we will go to Tedru. Sebastian, I won't make a comment about Sebastian. What's the worst or best advice you've heard when it comes to learning machine learning? So we'll go to Tedru. And Tedru, if you want to start with the previous thing about deep knowledge of mathematics, because me, I fear your knowledge of mathematics and I respect it. You can start from there and segue into this question.
Oh my goodness. So I was everyone, both Sayak and Bora said that they already had amazing comments on this, but so far from my understanding of things is that I feel like the first problem is even understanding why you want to learn something. So from you getting excited or you having tenacity means that you know what you want to learn, and no matter what it is, you're going to find what you need to learn, what you want to learn. So even when things become weird, you're still like, okay, I want to be able to build a classification model. And why do I want to build it? Okay, there's this photo app that does dog versus cat. I want to be able to know how to do it as well. And okay, so why? Because in the future, maybe I want to do cup versus pencil. And I should be able to know how to do all those things. Those are very, very simple tasks that probably take one or maybe 3 or 4 lines of code if you wanted to use a framework or something. It takes nothing. But what goes into it, I briefly watched the webinar session with Robert that Aniedi had. It was like, what goes into it might take you years to understand, but it starts with you getting excited. You have to be excited first. The moment you're excited, then you start trying to intuit something. So because I studied mechanical engineering, and I used to argue this with a lot of people that the way engineers think is not the same way scientists think, especially computer scientists. When I entered this field, I was confused about absolutely almost everything. Till now, when I'm taking courses, I'm like, oh my goodness. Okay. So I try to find what is the language, like Wura said. Then once I understand this is how it is, then I think from that point of view. And I find out that things are always a little bit easier for me to understand if I'm thinking from the way they are thinking. I mean, I'm saying they. I'm not a computer scientist, so not from the way we are thinking. So, to cut the long story short, absolutely, you should not allow mathematics to be barrier to starting. Even people that did maths from the undergrad and everything, a lot of people need to brush it up every other time when it starts this. A lot of people would say they understand linear algebra. No, they do not. Linear algebra is different from linear algebra. The moment you start applying, there's a difference between you just like studying something and you understanding why you need that thing. You can do eigenvectors or eigenvalue for the rest of your life and still not really understand the importance of it in what you're doing. How it can be very important in where you have a set of metrics where base vectors that can basis vectors that can help you do so much magic. So all those things, it takes a while to get into that frame of mind, but it also takes a lot of tenacity. Like I used to tell people, it's like you have to say that we die here, like nothing, not say I'm not going anywhere. This is where I am. So that's the only energy I take into this. So whenever I don't understand,
we die here. It's very Nigeria.
It's like we die here. so coming to this question, what's the worst or the best advice I've heard when it comes to machine learning? See, I'm not the best with listening to advice in this field because I told you that I started getting excited about artificial intelligence when I was probably in 200 level. When I first when I first saw the NASA Curiosity robot, when I was in uni, a lot of people told me whenever I get interested in like taking things, doing courses or doing things that seem to be just related to computer science, they'll tell me that why am I trying to switch? I'm a mechanical engineering student. So why am I trying to do network or like go for like advanced courses in this? And at some point I actually thought they were right, but at a point in my life I realized that no, like this is my life. I design how I want it to go. So when it comes to advice, you have to try a lot of things, right? A lot of people would, there are legit advice out there, like how people would tell you that, okay, this is it's not a given. It's not like this is the way it is. It's like if you try it this way, you might be able to get to that. Okay. So you try and maybe it did not work for you. You try something else. You try another until you find something that works for you. So I don't have a like best or worst advice because I don't really think I even read advices as such in terms of machine learning. So
Okay.
so I'm not the right candidate. I'm sorry.
Okay. Let's throw this to Sayak. Sayak, what's the best and worst machine learning advice you have received? And I popped up your interview series, Sayak the dev/interviews. Maybe we can find some answers there. But please go ahead and tell us what's the best or worst machine advice you've heard or you have given.
Yeah, sure. Again, I agree with Teju here. I also do not follow a lot of advices from the folks because I often let my own conscience decide the kind of way I would like to proceed in my life in general. But definitely one of the best advices that I got from Jeremy Howard is to like learn things by getting excited about it, like Teju rightfully mentioned. It's really important to be first excited about what you are about to learn and then take a bottom up approach, like get things up and running, to play around the things that you would want to learn first and then slowly break down the parts that are really important. And so far this pursuit has never failed me up until this date. And coming to the worst one, I have often seen people like blabbering over things like you need to know statistics to the fullest, you need to know calculus to the fullest, you need to know x to the fullest. So I absolutely don't support these kind of statements. It's your life, and it's absolutely fine the kind of approach you would want to take with. But I think it's absolutely not fine to impose your thoughts on someone else and making their life a bit worse. And I guess I was referring to bottom up approach. Like in the bottom, you will be playing around with the stuff that you would like to build, like off the shelf, and then you would like break it piece by piece. So I was referring to bottom up approach only. And in my understanding, top down is really where you would put all the pieces together and then slowly build the bigger one. So yeah.
Oh, okay. So because from my understanding of fast AI, usually it's like going from top down, where like you do like you use the tools, and then you now start once you build it, when you see how it works and everything, and you now start to try to understand how it's like how the components fit together.
In my understanding,
Yeah.
bottom usually refers to the entire thing that I'm trying to build, and up refers to yeah. So it's your way of understanding, but yeah, I guess we are on the same page. Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, stay curious and stay foolish and stay hungry.
Okay.
Definitely.
Stay curious, stay foolish, stay hungry. Yes, Aurel Gundike, thank you for that. So I'm going to take one live question and I'm going to pop it on the screen. This question I will go
Okay,
to Wura. I'm Sobank here. Abidin says I'm here. I love to know the best framework and resources that works best for someone coming from an engineering background. Oh, maybe that should be Teju, but pharmacy background, engineering background to DS and ML. I can say one thing. I'm going to pop it up on the screen. The best framework, if you are in Nigeria, is Data Science Nigeria, and I wasn't paid to say this. Anyway, go ahead.
Yes, data science Nigeria. But okay, I wanted to answer the
So
question
wait,
of the course
wait. Before we say anything, we say like if you're in Nigeria, data science Nigeria. Like,
Yeah.
don't let us start this. Don't let us start this. You cannot be making.
Okay, sorry about that.
This is like you want me to talk, and I have spoken. They are
Okay,
different. They are different.
okay, so Abidin, okay, Abidin, frameworks are not exactly your problem because they change often. And on the long run, they all run on the same fundamental principles. There are frameworks that I've not used before, but if I read the documentation, if I follow the code base, the examples that they shared, you know, I can work with them. I think what you should go for is the fundamentals. Data science, machine learning, deep learning, AI, whatever you're thinking of, it has fundamentals, and that is for everybody. I usually like to tell people, no matter your background, nobody is going to say, oh, where are your background is in pharmacy. It means we are going to give you special favor. Like, let's just, it's not a manage it like that kind of a thing. Your competence is your competence. So I'll say focus on the fundamentals, like two popular frameworks for deep learning, TensorFlow, PyTorch. I can work with both because like Teju mentioned, it's about what you want to do. My question is usually like, okay, I want to reshape this data. The question I'll be asking Google is, how do I reshape with PyTorch? Reshaping is the same because data will be reshaped anyway. If I get error messages, from a PyTorch, TensorFlow, or whatever framework that you're thinking of. So I'll say your focus is on the fundamentals, and sometimes where you will become very skilled, where you become very skilled at searching for things online. Like now, it's easy for me to teach people from health background. It's easy for me to teach them, maybe some principles, but those principles are the same. I can just maybe use analogies from health, but it's the same. You want to train your model, you want to tweak some of the parameters. So please focus on the fundamentals. And there's something that I wanted to answer the other time about advice. I don't know any advice, but I want people to, in Nigerian lingo, dead the idea that you can't learn online. Some people are always looking for, okay, certain people are always looking for maybe a physical class alone, or thinking that the quality of what is online is low. I have a campaign. One of the interesting things about this field is that people that are coming up with ideas, they are still alive. Like, okay, I like Spacey. I talk about Spacey. The people in charge of the library, the concept, you can still talk to them. You can still do that. And online brings down the learning barrier. Like, everybody in the world is learning maybe on Coursera. You are all learning the same thing. And Andrenji is teaching all of us. Okay, Sayak likes Spacey too. I do. Okay, so please, I don't want anyone to underestimate learning online. It's like, it's like saying no to what can change your life, what can give you access to the best of the best. So Abidin, I'll encourage you to go for the fundamentals. You can be lucky, maybe someone is sharing codes from the perspective of engineering, but I promise you the fundamentals are the same for whatever you want to do. Okay, that'll be that.
Teju, best framework from engineering to data science and machine learning.
So
I want to tweak that question a bit and say more like best approach, but you can also go with best framework.
That's the thing. When I saw framework and I saw that you and Bura, sorry, I was stuttering on your name, Bura. You and Bura started with data science is it a framework or an approach? So I wanted to, like, we need to understand what the question is. Like, if it's like, the way I understood the question is like, how do I get started in this field, and what are the resources I should go for? Definitely, yeah.
I didn't see it.
Like, if you're someone who are not, if you're someone who you know that it's difficult for you to stay motivated by yourself, that you don't know how to go do an online courses, or you don't even know what that is. Everyone started from somewhere. Like, before I co-founded AICT Lagos, I used to say that women in machine learning, the going to what's the word again? Anya, help me now. Going to events, yeah. So going to events, Anya is like one heck of a person. That's how I connected with him, and all this community helped bring the fire. Sorry, the words are not coming out as I wanted it. So, but at the same time, we are in an interesting time now. Like, data science Nigeria is doing fantastic job in terms of, like, there are lots of, every other day I'm seeing like webinar sessions, or I'm seeing like AI in each city, and it's not just like in Lagos or in Abuja. It's everywhere. So I also think that you should check it out, and if you think that being a part of a community is something that would work better for you, in a community, you definitely you get exposed to framework, like you get exposed to the resources people are using. So, and this is not to say that I'm not talking about my community, but I just wanted to so AI, that there are other communities as well. If you want to say learn for like, the way we approach this is that we have like classes like every 16 weeks, like 2 cohorts in a year. So it's like we go through a resource for 16 consecutive weeks, and so far we've been holding the classes online. And to be honest, the approach we are going now is to allow our students to get comfortable online. So what happens, because Corona started, we had to cancel physical classes, but before then we were going through courses, which is from, say, data science course, which is a CMU course, and those courses are online for free, which you can watch videos, you can look at the projects, you can get inspired. But we also have a community whereby you see people struggling. I understand how difficult it is to learn by yourself. So when I see people asking questions like this, I can almost understand that it's hard, really. So we all need all the motivation we can get, which is what these communities are here to provide for you. So, and the framework, like Well, said if you're talking about machine learning framework, then definitely like you can look at the tools like TensorFlow, PyTorch, SciPy. Like there are lots of them. Don't even focus on the tools. As long as you understand what you want to do, you can always find whatever works best for you. Understanding what you want to do is like the hardest thing. So
Thank you so much. So we have another question from Damola Olutsoke. I hope I didn't murder that name. And the question is, I want to get into machine learning deeply, but I have been working with NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, Seaborn, and SciPy lately. Have I been wasting my time learning all these? Absolutely not. Finally, a question I can answer. But I'm going to hand it over first to Sayak, then Wura to answer.
I can probably cite billion examples from the industry that are being catered, delivered to their clients by using this kind of frameworks. And NumPy and Pandas, Matplotlib, Seaborn, and SciPy are still considered to be one of the best stacks for doing machine learning for structured data. That's the tabular data that we are kind of used to seeing on a day-to-day basis. So the long story cut short here is absolutely not. You are not wasting your time at all. In fact, many of the industrial use cases that you see today, like bank, financial applications and stuff like that, those applications are oftentimes really developed using frameworks like this. So yeah, you are quite on your track. So yeah.
Okay. I think this question comes from you thinking that machine learning is something up there, and if you're getting in, it has to be something difficult. And that is why my emphasis will be on understanding the fundamentals. Matplotlib is a popular plotting library. There are other plotting libraries. Pandas is a popular data analysis library. There are other popular data analysis library that data scientists use too. And there's NumPy, there's SciPy. I think your question is that you are expecting something more difficult and deep. So maybe if your perspective is not that it's supposed to be something very difficult and deep, and you start putting this together, you start seeing the machine learning part of it. So Damola, I'm giving you an assignment. I would like you to read up on algorithms, the difference between machine learning and traditional algorithms. When you read those two, and then you can now start researching how is NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib related to machine learning and AI? I think it will answer some of your questions better. And generally, I know when many people hear machine learning, maybe they are thinking it's high up there and it's something unreachable. So I would like Damola to read up on that and, maybe get back to me when if he or she finds out what it means and, you have more fun at this. I can't wait for you to start building things with those libraries that you know and how they relate to machine learning and AI. That'll be all I need.
I can't find the question. I wanted to say something. It has disappeared.
It's still.
Where's the question? I want to talk. Okay, thank you. So Damola, no. See, if you want to learn any fundamental framework and you're not into should I use Python or should I use R, you have settled within yourself that you want to be a Python person. Matplotlib, NumPy, Pandas, those are that trios. NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib. If you can understand the most important bits of them and how to use them in your application, how to do data wrangling, all those interesting things with Pandas, how to plot all those interesting plots with Matplotlib. See, you're like hot cake. All those other framework that you are seeing, those three things are under it. So once you can understand them, you can use those three things to build your it's like an extension of your normal Python. You can use it to build your projects from scratch without you like doing framework or high level framework. If you're like a badass, you want to, why not? So I'm trying to tell you in essence that you're not wasting your time or spend time learning them. Once you can do that, you're made for life, as per engineer Damola, researcher Damola.
Thank you, Teju. Now, the next question is from someone. What would you say are the most useful or impactful challenges African or Indian developers could tackle using machine learning? Who wants to go first? Should I say Sayak first?
Yeah, I can volunteer there. Uh, I think there are a number of scopes here in India with regards to using machine learning to tackle some of the critical challenges that we are facing here. So you might already be knowing India is mainly an agricultural country. We depend a lot on agricultural services. So there's definitely a number of different scopes in the agricultural domain where machine learning can be used to tackle some of those problems. And other than that, support for native Indian languages in order to help out the local newspapers and many other things that come with that. So yeah, long story cut short here is these two will be would be my main focus if I were to plan the strategy of my next 5 years of AI and machine learning development. Would be agricultural stuff, and also support for native Indian languages in a more holistic way.
Yeah, so languages is a big thing. I mean, Africa has 2,000 languages and counting. Nigeria has an unknown number of languages. There's so many things in Nigeria. You don't actually know the number, the accuracy of the statistics from. Not bashing Nigeria, but I think these are also interesting areas where machine learning can tell us things about our population, about sort of like demographic data. So it's going to be pretty difficult to count the number of people in Nigeria or count the number of people that get affected by infectious diseases. So over time, I think the models that we are, learning about and improving upon and utilizing will also play a very big role in Nigeria. Wura, do you want to say something about where you see this question, useful or impactful uses of or challenges of machine learning?
Okay, what I'm going to say about this is that wherever there is data, machine learning and deep learning and AI can work. It's already in our lives, like I told many people. It's in your auto predict, it's in the things that you do. There are many, I'm part of many efforts to get Nigerian African languages and to get African and many African languages, like Aniedi said, to get them on board. But I understand that there are peculiarities in Africa or India, but the truth is that wherever there is data, machine learning and AI can work there. At Data Science Nigeria, we have a vision to raise 1 million AI talents in 10 years. And what is happening is that I usually say there are different kinds of people that are learning AI and machine learning. Not everybody is going to be engineers, but the more people can understand what this data can be used for, it trickles down into everything that they do. That means that if someone is in charge of gathering data, someone is in charge of databases, if the person understands the things that can be done with ML and with machine learning, with deep learning, with AI, the person can adjust the kind of outputs from people that are seemingly just data collectors. There's a way you collect it. You want it to be true because you know that this can be used for predictive analysis. So the more people know about this, the more CEOs, the more top executive, they know about AI, they know about machine learning. It eases the entire process. So I understand that some of the people watching, they are not exactly trying to be an AI engineer. We don't expect that. We don't expect that everybody is going to be an ML genius, but it means that when it comes to decision making, when it comes to how we handle our data, when people are making requests, when the engineer at work, is saying that we can improve this with ML, we can automate this process, that means everybody is into it. So the answer to that question is that wherever there is data, we can use machine learning, and there is data in Africa and in India. That's my thoughts on that. So Teju.
Very, very interesting. Before I hand over to Teju, so it's very interesting that we have data and our problem is data. Teju, I'm confused. Yes,
I was about to say that.
That's mind blowing.
I was about to bring Rura back to the panel. It's like
to the panel.
Of course, sorry, you're already part of the panel. What I'm saying is,
well, we have data and we are working hard on how to make this data useful. We are working hard on how this data is curated.
We do not have a framework for this data. Like there is data everywhere. You can take pictures. Data is like stream.
But Teju, do you think Teju, since you got into AI machine learning at InstaDeep, do you think we are improving in beats in how we handle data?
No, we are not. So let me gist you. Let me briefly gist you. There was a project we wanted to work on, which was on satellite imagery. Then just like one project. This project now still did not do with the big company, which I'm not sure I'm supposed to talk about it. So as I was saying, go to Boshen Solo, if you understand Yoruba. So we went to Bureau of Data something, and myself and my colleague, we went there. Sir, good afternoon, sir. Sorry, we would like to collect data and everything. They first used us to up and down. Nobody was like talking to us in terms of like what they wanted. Apparently, so they were expecting us start talking about money. You understand? Like before they connect us to the next person. It was. I'm serious. This is real life scenario. It's not. It's like at the end of the day, they now told us that no, we cannot collect the data now. That how the process is that we are supposed to send a letter to Abuja. You cannot tell us all those before. I called my other contacts, which is like who's the AI Saturdays in Abuja. We went as an organization because I didn't go as an institute like that. We have money in this study, so that they will not call price. So it's like, oh, okay, AI Saturdays, so we want to do a project, so we need data. That maybe it's the thing will make them happy. That these young people, they want to help life using the data. So we now sent a letter. Till now, no response, nothing. You go on website, nothing. So like the data is there and they are locking it there as if they want to eat it. So so we need to first tell them to be calm. They should release this data.
Okay, Teju, I agree with you. But do you think we'll get better outcomes if people understand what we can do with this data, or you think it's just intentional? They are just blocking the door.
No, the first thing is that the one locking the doors are not the one that will understand. Like
understand.
So it is like organizations like that are open sourcing this data. Like we need to have we need to have what's this thing where you have a community whereby we are used to open sourcing data, you understand? And then you're right, we need to educate people. They need to understand how this can be helpful.
Yes, because there's something that we try to do.
People in the government.
You are probably referring to something called crowdsourcing,
because the more data educated people are, we have a lot of problems. Like I work for research, like you understand what I mean. Like thank God for scraping. Thank God for scraping in my life.
Like now you have you built a data, open source data and everything.
Thank God.
Because they are working.
Right? Okay. Ladies, and gentleman and
Sorry, I
entire
don't think
audience, if you're
no,
watching
wait
this
now,
live or
wait
you're going to be
now,
watching this
wait,
in the
Anedi.
future, hold on.
Wait now,
I can't
wait now.
interrupt you. I cannot interrupt you. I cannot. I don't have the liver to interrupt you.
Anedi,
Okay.
the question. I
But we
cannot
have
see
only
the
10
question
minutes
again.
left.
I cannot see the
We
question
have only
again.
10
I've not
minutes
answered
left.
it now. I've not answered it.
Okay, you've not answered the
You
question.
still have
Okay,
10
okay.
minutes now.
Okay, all right. So I said impactful challenges, right? Like, of course, we've been talking about data. It's one of the challenges, but it doesn't mean that we cannot do anything. To be honest, I've seen a lot of. I'm involved in a lot of different communities whereby they are into like creating data. For example, when my colleagues wanted to work on the pigeon, I'm not sure if you've heard of it. The pigeon paper that went out, they created their own data sets, like they scrape the data and everything, and the data is open source. We need more people that do that. Like STES data is also like doing things like that. I understand that there was time we had this conversation, and then they are building unit data. I understand that sometimes data is expensive, and sometimes if you come from the perspective that the data itself is very sensitive, then we understand, like, that's the other side of it. Maybe like health data, all those data, you cannot just like put it out there. But that's why we are having machine learning techniques whereby you can be able to still use the data even though it is private. Do you understand? In such a way that that because the data is also scarce, we understand that we don't have a framework here whereby like people, like you can't just like go on one website and then find a lot of the data you want. Then it also means that we need to be able to work with small data sets, right? So and then like there are like lots of also all sorts of machine learning techniques. And to be fair, as well, I know I've been criticizing the fact that you might not be able to get some data that you want, but there's still a lot of data out there. Because we have a research group at AICT Lagos, and Femi is leading the research team. And just this recently, like they're supposed to like I've started on a project, and it listed like over 15 data sources. Yeah, in different sectors, like not just like health, like satellite imagery and all those stuff. It might be difficult to get, but they are out there, and we hope like part of the goal of the research is to help us make those like link easier for people to access. You understand? It also starts from like maybe just creating it somewhere. It's like, this is how you can get it, this is how you can get that. So you put the data aside and you can focus on the problem. I have this goal of doing this out. Okay, I don't have to think about data in this manner. So yeah, sure, we need more people to think about data if we want to solve this. If we want to truly innovate AI in Africa. As we are thinking about the innovative solution, we are thinking about how to build these data resources, and we have to come together to work to do this, because it's not like there's money for you and like, you know, individually, you understand, you need to so we need to work together to do this. Thank you so much, Aniedi. You know I love you too. Thank you.
I totally agree, because we have this data set that we are scraping. Like, I was chasing everybody around in DSM to help me label, but of course we delivered on it. Labeling. But my favorite thing is that for some of the things that for people that participated in that labeling, now they know how to handle data better.
Exactly.
It's in your subconscious, and the things that you can do with data, like, you know, that's the value of learning, because data curation is one of the things that, you know, we're working on.
The work data science Nigeria and all other communities like AI days, like having people like community, like one of my mentors, Kola, you know, would ask that like, how do you give, like how are you paying back? Okay, all these communities are free to attend and everything, but what do they like, what do we do to contribute? So it could be like data labeling, right? So when we were working on like the child net, when we gathered data, I remember then that we would go to like we need more collection. To be honest, the project is still like on mute, and I'm sorry, you know, like all those things that we have not finished yet. So
I get you. I know how you feel.
At the same time, like they were like contributors from within the community, and that was able to like help us like with the labor. So for real, like, yeah, we should totally take this offline to discuss more on how we can build the data set
in a machine learning friendly way,
yeah,
because
exactly. That
we're
can be
working at that.
useful. I think
Yeah,
that's
I'm
what
trying.
useful data sets.
Yes, our own data
We've
sets.
got
Like,
5 minutes to go. We've got 5 minutes to go. 5 minutes
okay,
to go.
and then they will
Okay,
keep
and
quiet.
we're actually on,
Sorry.
we're actually on our final topic. I'll
Okay.
start from Sayak and work the way back. Um, Communities and machine learning. All of you are very active in communities. Sayak is a Google developer expert, gives a lot of interviews, a TensorFlow user group organizer. What is the position and the benefit of communities in learning machine learning? So we'll start with Sayak.
That's an interesting question, I think, and uh, I absolutely admit that I am a byproduct of a healthy community. Rather, I'm a byproduct of meaningful community engagements, and I have also listed this particular statement in the memorandum that I published after I completed 1 year with the Google Developers Expert Program. Having a healthy community of like-minded people around you is can really help, because you can always reach out to the fellow community members, ask them questions as you would make progress in your journey, and also you can also give back to the community by answering the questions the community is getting from the other folks and stuff like that. So and also what I have seen in my journey is communities can really help out. Let's say I have faced this particular problem, let's say of loading a certain kind of data, and I went ahead and I put together a nice little blog post enlisting all the challenges that I faced and the kind of approaches that I took to develop the solution. And when I shared that blog post in my community, and when I see that that's turning out to be quite useful for the other folks, and it really pleases someone to see that. So long story cut short here is, yeah, communities are really important, specifically for a field like machine learning that's constantly evolving. It's not really easy to keep up with the pace and at the same time not get overwhelmed. So yeah, communities come there as a helping hand. So yeah.
Thank you. Now, I have only one Saturday every week. Wura, why should I join Data Science Nigeria activities on Saturday and not AI Saturdays Lagos?
well, Annie, they don't pitch us against each other. We are complementary communities. Okay, but why you should be part of DSN is that we are everywhere. We are everywhere. We're working hard. Like every member of DSN, every member of the staff, we know that we're a community-based organization, and we work hard at that. And this year, we're working out to be outside Lagos. We are in 17 universities with AI plus clubs and 23 cities. So we are coming from all angles. You know, it's 1 million AI talents in 10 years. We are going for business executives. We are going for students. We are going for people in normal cities. And all the profits that we ever make from consulting, we spend it. These things are expensive. But it's a great thing to be part of an organization like that. You know, we walk the talk, and sometimes I think we undersell what we do. So be part of DSN communities, have the AI plus thing, our AI plus genotype, and have a great time at it.
Thank you. Teju,
See,
16 Saturdays, 16
everyone that knows,
Saturdays a year.
anything.
16 Saturdays a year.
Everyone that knows me know that I don't
16
know how to tell
Saturdays
my
a
head.
year.
It's okay. It's okay. I need it now. It's okay now. Can I say something now? Hello. I think we lost Danieli.
Hey, man, listening.
You can hear me.
You're live.
Okay.
You're live. I just muted. You're live.
Yeah, for real.
1 minute to go.
I'm not going to tell you why you should join the ISS de Lagos or any other communities. Do whatever works for you. If you try out CSSD classes and it's not working for you, move. It's not hard. It's just we are focused on just one goal. Honestly, we are not here to try to excite you about machine learning. That's not the goal. We are focused on making you a badass AI researcher or a badass entrepreneur. I mean, we have not acted on that part yet, but that's like part of the goal in such a way that you can comfortably attend 16 classes, which is about approximately 4 months, and know that by the time you're done with that, you've moved from zero to someone who can apply for internship or maybe for a job, depending on the amount of inputs. Like, you have to work hard. It's not like there is magic bullets. You attend classes and then all of a sudden you're a badass. No, it doesn't work like that. So it's all about your passion, but we have the community. We have people who are just like you, trying to learn. We have both speed, beginner, intermediate classes. We have students. Interestingly, most of the people that teach some of the students that we have now are best students themselves. So this is something that it's like a family tradition. It's like you're done and you're still within the community. You're still helping. You start from being a student to being a teacher, and because we want to grow youth, not just in their talents, but also in their leadership skills. So we believe that we all should be able to do that. And this is not one person's thing. It's a teamwork. We just like working to like see how can we make difference in our own little way, and that's how we're doing, man. So so check us out. Definitely, you should. If you're interested, shoot us an email at ai6lagos ai6lagos@gmail.com, and I'm a very fun person.
Thank
You want to join?
you. Thank you. Unfortunately, we've run out of time. This was very interesting for me. Thank you, Sayak. Thank you, Teju. Thank you, Wura. You guys came to my rescue in 48 hours. I thought of postponing this week's webinar. When I reached out, the responses were overwhelming.
You
I
are
was
my
looking for
person
one
now.
person.
I cannot say no to you.
I was looking for one person and I got 6 people, and 3 of you were so. I'm so happy to have you guys. We've gone 2 minutes over time. We're going to try not to go over time ever again. Thank you for this. If you're watching this live, thank you for tuning in. If you'll be watching this as a recorded session, it was a pleasure sharing with you, and I hope you do enjoy learning machine learning. Bye, everyone. Bye. Thank you.
You're done.